If you want to kill it in your next job interview, you need a hill you're willing to die on. Yep, you heard me right. A hill you're willing to die on. Ready to go find your hill? Let's go. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite questions as a hiring manager, and also just one of my favorite ways to prepare for interviews, to reflect on my craft as a researcher, and just think about what we're all doing here as researchers. So stick with me for just a few minutes today to hear about how developing hills you're willing to die on can help you shine in your next job interview. And as a bonus, I'll share with you one of the latest hills I'm willing to die on in a bit of detail and in an upcoming video coming up soon. So welcome back to UX Quests. I'm Noam, and in a world full of daddy sharks, I am a daddy corn. And when I'm not staring into the empty abyss of the camera in front of me, I am the director of user research at Wealthfront. Now listen, if you have any comments or questions for me, I'd love for you to comment right below in the comment section. And I will include links to everything I discussed today in the description as always, so don't worry about missing something or not following, it's all going to be right there for you. Are you interviewing for your next UX role? I'm telling you, you need at least one hill you're willing to die on. Now, I wouldn't blame you if at this point you ask me, well, what exactly do you mean by a hill I'm willing to die on? So here's the dictionary term for you. A hill you're willing to die on is an issue to pursue with wholehearted conviction and or single-minded focus with little or no regard to the cost. Da da da. In short, it's something you believe in so strongly that you will defend it till your last breath. Da da da. So why Noam? I mean, why does this matter for UX interviews? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are at least 3 reasons why it's helpful to have a hill you're willing to die on. Number 1, having a strong perspective professionally, to me, it means you care about your field and the community you belong to, the professional community you belong to. People who are truly immersed in their field, they tend to take an interest in, well, everything they can. They'll read articles on Medium, they'll listen to podcasts, they'll attend conferences, they'll watch YouTube videos like this one. And not just that, but people who are truly passionate about UX research, they will not only absorb and take in all of the information they read and listen to and see, and the people they meet, they will also take all of that and craft their own unique perspectives and philosophies about everything they consume. So right now, there are several UX research communities that I feel very fortunate to be part of, and I wanted to share a few with you today. The first is UXR Collective, organizers of UXR Conf, which is the largest UX research conference in the world. And this year, it's UXR Conf Anywhere because it's a remote conference happening June 25th and 26th with well over 1,000 attendees from all over the world. Full disclosure, I am a speaker at this conference, but regardless, I'm telling you, it's an incredible community which I feel very, very fortunate to be part of. I highly suggest you purchase a ticket to this conference. There are tickets for as low as $99 for students and people who don't have learning and development budgets. The Slack community is incredible, tons of great information there, check it out. The second Slack community I love being part of these days is People Nerds from the wonderful people at DScout. Let's face it, we are all people nerds, that's exactly what we are. And in case you don't know it, DScout is a phenomenal tool for diary studies, live interviews, a bunch of other things. It's phenomenal. We use it at Wealthfront for our diary study needs and love it. People Nerds is a relatively new Slack community, but it's already incredible. Tons of people there, tons of information. Wonderful place to be. I also want to mention the Research Ops community on Slack, on Medium, everywhere. Research Ops is an incredible subfield within UX and UX research. It's crucial, it's so valuable. I'm so happy it's growing at the astonishing pace it's growing. The complexity these days of taking care of your research operations in the teams you're part of, the organizations you're part of, the complexity is crazy. So you absolutely want to be part of this community and just get in touch with people who know what they are up to when it comes to research ops, get all the updates, information, information, ideas for how you can improve research ops in your company and your team. Another marvelous community to be part of on Slack and otherwise is, of course, Mixed Methods. Shout out to Ariel Cianfluen, who is the creator of Mixed Methods. It's a phenomenal podcast. She's had great people on there. I really appreciate her as a fellow content creator. It's hard to do this job. So wonderful community. Check it out and check out the podcast too. New episodes are out these days. It's great. And then finally, if you are looking to be a mentee or a mentor, I could not recommend UX Coffee Hours enough. Again, link down below. I think it's uxcoffeehours.com. Shout out to my friend Tejas for including me in this incredible initiative. We need a lot more mentors right now in the field of UX. A lot of people are looking for mentorship. This is the place to go for both of those things. And by the way, UX Coffee Hours is for UX more broadly. So whether you're a researcher, designer, content strategist, writer, engineer, whatever it is, anyone in the field of UX can find mentorship there and or become a mentor themselves. Okay, so the second thing about having a hill you're willing to die on is that, in my opinion, fighting for your hill is a test of clear but passionate communication. Now, debatable topic alert. Some people may say that user researchers should be the advocates for their users, the people they serve. And if you accept that, then if you can't advocate strongly for a position you hold, well, how will you advocate for your users? I found that one of the best investments I've made in my career so far has been in improving my communication, my narrative building skills, my storytelling skills. It's been very, very valuable. So to that end, I wanted to recommend a few resources today which have really helped me in the past few years level up my game when it comes to, again, storytelling, narrative building, presenting data and insights in compelling ways. Number one is the book Resonate by Nancy Duarte, and honestly, pretty much anything else Nancy Duarte has written, including Slideology, data stories. She's written a ton of incredible books. Nancy is an expert in storytelling and narrative building, especially with data and insights, the sort of thing we do every single day. I've taken, well, countless things from her books, but it's everything from how to visually present information all the way to more abstract kind of just how do you make sure that what you're presenting resonates with your audience, no matter who that audience is. The second book I want to recommend is Made to Stick: Why Some Ideas Survive and Others Die by Chip and Dan Heath. If you've been struggling to catch the attention of the leadership in your company, your stakeholders, your teammates, this book is awesome. It'll help you craft ideas that really stick in the minds and the hearts of the people you work with and the audiences you need to impress with your research and your hard work. Okay, so last but not least is the book Unleashing Your Superpower: Why Persuasive Communication is the Only Force You Will Ever Need by Jeff Tippett. This book is awesome for many reasons. It's incredibly just candid and direct and simple to consume in little chunks. My favorite part is how it taught me to craft great calls to action, because honestly, I want stakeholders, I want leadership to act on my research if possible. And that book just taught me a lot of great tips and tricks exactly for that. So quick question before we carry on here. Do you have any favorite communication, persuasion resources that I haven't mentioned? I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Please share with me and the rest of us. So the third reason I love to develop hills I'm willing to die on, and also the reason why I love this question so much as a hiring manager, is that answering this particular question requires boldness. It compels you to share a robust and fearless perspective that might not resonate with the person interviewing you. Now, to be clear, I am not advocating that you choose a hill you're willing to die on that goes completely against the values or the mission or the goals of the company you're interviewing for. That would probably be a mistake. But in the age of radical candor, I can tell you that interviewers appreciate candidates who share perspectives with them that get them thinking about their own craft, about their own values, about their own philosophies and work as researchers and research managers. If I'm interviewing you and you share a hill you're willing to die on that gets me to ponder about my craft, how we do things on the team, my philosophies, my values around research, whatever it is, it'll make me remember you. It'll make your interview memorable. It'll make you stick out. That's really meaningful. It's really helpful. Trust me on this. Now, I'll tell you what, at least until now, part of my advantage was that no one expected this question. Every single person literally was surprised by the question, do you have a hill you're willing to die on? What's a hill you're willing to die on? Well, not anymore, I guess. But here's the thing. You should expect such surprises. You should respond to such surprises and adapt to them. That's the test of a great interviewee and what will become a great interview. So take a moment to ponder on the hills you're willing to die on. Be authentic. Surprise us. You never know. You might just land that next job of your dreams. And as for me, well, I have had plenty of hills I'm willing to die on, but my latest hill is that there is no such thing as a generalist. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the notion of the generalist researcher, the full stack researcher, the mixed methods researcher, the quant and qual researcher, the designer researcher. In my next video, I'll share with you why, in my opinion, a generalist researcher is simply a mediocre researcher, and how we need to have the humility to acknowledge that each area within research, within design, is so rich, it's kind of impossible to be great at them all, and that specialization is the way to a better future and a better career. So please let me know if this video was helpful or at least fun to watch. Like or dislike it, whatever you fancy, and message me or comment below if you have any questions or thoughts. As always, if you're enjoying this channel, I'd love for you to subscribe for updates on all the upcoming content. And in case you missed it, I did a vidcast, video podcast thingamajig, UXR conversations, 20 conversations with some incredible researchers and research leaders. So check it all out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.